Texas Blueberry.
Mm-hmm. You're angling for a sponsorship, right?
Or at least a free case.
Right.
Send it to me.
I think you should probably like take a sip of it and remark about how refreshing it is.
It's magnificent.
It is.
Very tasty brew. I'd love to have some more, but they don't sell this in Ohio, so...
That's the only reason people come to Texas besides the Mondo Gallery, actually. And you, sir?
My name's Craig Drake, originally from Detroit, alien San Francisco, lifelong sci-fi geek.
Awesome.
I don't have any pictures. I didn't get a product. I was impromptu.
It's all right.
I also endorse it.
We both like Shiner beer.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to need 2 cases of Shiner.
At least.
At least.
My address is on my website. They can ship it to me.
Shiner can get in touch with me, and I'll put them in touch with you guys. I'll mediate for like a 10% cut.
And I'll take any of their varieties. This is the boron. I'll take anything.
Talk a little bit about the work that you've got on display in the show here today. This is like, you know, when Mondo announced that they were opening a gallery, I think a lot of people might have expected that we'd be seeing showcases of some of their bigger artists, or their more, you know, the names that are a little more recognizable to people that might not be as familiar in the art world, like Tyler Stout or, you know, Ollie Moss. But as I understand it, the plan has always been to use the gallery to give attention to guys like you that maybe might not be... Your work might not fit in with the average studio project, you know? So talk a little bit about your work in relation to that, and, you know, what you were going for with what you brought to the show, basically.
Yeah, I'll start. I mean, for me, it was a merging of style, and I wanted to do something a little more unexpected than the traditional sci-fi character illustration. So I merged a style that was nostalgic and also fed into the sci-fi geekery that was my childhood and continues to be my childhood to this day. And then also spin that in a dark way. That's pretty much it. That's the basis of the show.
I've heard, in the last couple days, I've noticed people online talking about how this particular run of prints that you got at the show, very reminiscent of Paul Nagel, and that it might actually be parody of his work. I don't really find it to be parody, but do you consider it to be a parody, or?
It started out that way. It definitely started out as more of a kitsch parody, 80s thing, right?
Right.
Celebration of that particular 80s style, and Patrick Nagel in particular. But it sort of evolved.
Did I call him Paul?
I didn't hear.
Okay.
Patrick.
Yeah. I totally said Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick Nagel.
Yeah.
He's rolling over his grave.
Right.
Maybe I should do a zombie Patrick Nagel.
A what?
A zombie Patrick Nagel in the Nagel style.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody would do that.
Glow-in-the-dark inks.
Yes.
Will end up in beauty salons nationwide. All of his other stuff.
There it is.
You know what's funny is I thought when I was driving down here, I was trying to remember his name, and I thought it was Patrick Nigel. So I was like fucking around on my phone on Google trying to track down the name so I could reference it during this interview and make it seem as though I was prepared.
The results you got from that search.
Yeah, the history.
I got nothing from the search, and so what I was doing was I was using different search terms like Patrick, Nigel, Mondo, parody, 80s, you know, like all this different shit. But wait, like here's what happened. Eventually I got frustrated and I typed in typical 80s artwork, and the first thing that popped up was his website.
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So people at home, if you're looking for Patrick Nagel's website, just type in typical 80s artwork and you'll find it. All right, and how about you, sir? You want to talk about your run of originals?
Well, the idea, I've modified other artwork. The idea for doing original movie posters was Mondo's idea. They approached me with it. I loved the idea, so I said yes. So they said, well, you can do any movies you want. So I just started looking through movie posters, thousands of them,
right,
online, and I just picked out one. And I really liked, and I thought I could do something visually with. They had to have visual potential more than the movie that I liked. Necessarily, some of these movies I haven't even seen. But
You're not a big Free Willy 3 fan?
I've never seen Free Willy 2 or 1. Don't care to, unless they end like that.
I think The Shiner has you admitting things you might not want to be admitting.
Well, if there's a Free Willy movie where it ends up being harpooned, I'll watch it, but otherwise, no.
That's when they did the crossover with Orca, I think. Was yeah, it's a joke that never happened, but yeah, well, someone's got to do it, right?
So it was their idea to do movie posters, but once I started doing them, I really had fun with it. Very enjoyable.
And it's the actual movie posters, and you've drawn on top of them, right?
Original one-sheet posters. I prep them and then paint on them with acrylics, and then give them a finish. Try to make it look like what I added was part of the original poster.
Awesome.
And it does.
I think that the response that I've seen to the show so far has been really strong. What do you think? No, go ahead, Eric. Go ahead, Eric Garza of Mondo. What do you guys feel like, since you've been here tonight and seeing people taking the show, what of each of your runs, what has elicited the strongest response? Like, what do you think people have liked the most?
I can't really say for mine which one I like the most. They seem to be drawn to the eye-catching ones that have bright red blood in them, like the Jack Lemmon or the Free Willy. I guess they draw your attention first.
People don't often see Jack Lemmon's balls being held in someone's hand.
It needed to be done. And
yeah.
I think he'd appreciate
it. The people demanded it. Yeah.
I actually heard more comments about his work, which ones they like. Lucy Lou and Kill Bill stuff. I think the movies he did are more iconic, and although I've done a couple that are like Close Encounters and Deliverance.
Totally.
But I think all of his movies are more iconic like that. I've done some obscure movies that I just picked for the visual. I mean, nobody seen that Jack Lemmon movie. Nobody's ever even heard of it.
Right.
I just loved the picture. I had to do it. I couldn't resist. Now,
it's good.
Mondo suggested I do well-known movies as they would have more appeal. So I tried to do movies people had heard of, but I had these two obscure ones. That one and Free Willy 3.
Yeah. I think they gave up after the second one.
Apparently you can buy it on video. It's
VHS?
That's what's great about it. It's a VHS.
Well, I wasn't interested until I found that out. Now I'm gonna make a stop on the way home.
If you've got the player at home, the VHS player. I'm sure you can find a copy of that on eBay for 50 cents. I don't know. The shipping charges will be greater than the cost of the merchandise.
Well, I've been looking for one on Betamax for years, and it's just,
That was a pristine poster. Most of them have been folded and worn, and I had to fix them up. But that one had seen no use at all. But it was still only like $5. I mean, the shipping cost more than the poster in that case. Now, if you get some posters for a famous movie like Deliverance or Close Encounters, if you get a pristine version, it's going to cost real money, which I didn't do. I bought used worn versions, so I'd rather fix them up than pay. I'm not going to pay $1,000 for a poster.
Right.
Now, Mondo said they...
Who would pay $1,000 for a movie poster?
They said if you want a really expensive one, tell us and we'll buy it for you. But I just didn't feel... I didn't want them to shell out real money for it, so I just bought cheap stuff. I don't think I paid more than $70 for a poster. And some of them were just $5.
Sure. And what have you heard? What is people... God damn it, I can't talk.
I can't even. I know
it's the beer. Yeah. Okay. Good.
The answer is blood. Blood. So it's a common theme. Also, that one. That seems to be one of the popular ones. They enjoy the blood.
Yeah. It draws their eyes. They go to bright red. Those are the two.
It's a cheap trick.
Yeah.
It's just a cheap trick. But it's also one of my favorite pieces, so I'm glad that people are into it.
No, it's the likeness is fantastic on it. I think that
She kind of led herself to that Nagel iconic look in a way, too.
yeah, I get him. Yeah, I know what you mean. You were telling me earlier that getting the likeness down on Deckard was a little tricky.
Yes. Harrison Ford, obviously an iconic actor, but he has a lot of really great lines on his face that we had to get right. And when I say we, like, it just went through a lot of other people. It's like, hey, what do you think of this? Oh, I read this and this. And I took in a lot.
Right.
That was the one piece that I took in a lot of other people's third-party opinions. That was the only one that was the only one. Something about Harrison. Everyone had an opinion on Harrison.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I was okay with people saying, "Oh yeah," but in the end, I kind of went back to what I did in the beginning. So.
Awesome. There's a few pieces of yours on display tonight that I know people were kind of disappointed that there wasn't a screen print available for them to purchase. Can you comment at all about the likelihood that we're going to see some of these as screen prints sometime in the future?
You'd have to burn the iPod afterwards. I can. I actually don't have any. There hasn't been any information on that.
Yeah.
I haven't even been. There hasn't been even a tease. So.
I knew that was going to be the response, but I had to ask. That way, when people watch this, they're not like, "Why didn't you ask?" You know, why I don't have a Bride of Frankenstein in my house. It's like, I covered it.
Well, all I can say is if he'd had prints of all of them, you'd have sold. They're moving like hotcakes, the prints.
Right.
So you would have sold whatever you had prints of. Mm-hmm. So I think everyone liked all the images.
Maybe that's what. Maybe this is all an elaborate ruse, and you were just testing the waters to see whether or not, you should bother printing them up. It's pretty crafty, sir. I gotta hand it to you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And by the way, one last thing. I know a lot of people knew that there was a 3-print like Blade Runner set dropping at the show. Were you aware that everyone assumed it was going to be 3 women? Like, were you surprised that so many people were surprised that it was Deckard?
Yes, I've had comments to that effect, actually. People thought it was going to be Zora. Roy was a hot candidate for a while, but I definitely always wanted to have the third one be a male character. Switch it up.
Did you ever mock up one of the Rutger Hauer ones? Awesome.
Absolutely. In fact, it started out as a triptych where they're all connected. And
oh, really?
Those poses that you see are from the triptych that exists in a composition I did.
Wow.
I'll probably never see the light of day.
Yeah, you're probably never going to do anything with them, so if you just want to send them to me, I can make sure that those get a nice home, no one ever looks on them.
Anyways, I'll send them,
Excellent. All right, guys, well, that is all I got for you right now. Is there anything you want to say to the people at home before we sign off?
Once again, Rainer beer, excellent brew, good body, good taste, no foul aftertaste, excellent, refreshing.
Buy Free Willy on VHS.
Yeah, buy Free Willy 3, if you can find it anywhere. I'm sure it's a great movie.
Well, again, that's the beer talking. Anything you want to say before we go?
Nothing other than stay off the pipe and don't forget to bite.
Excellent.
Now, if you want to look at my art,
wiser words never spoken.
I recommend the pipe.
That's what my grandmother used to say.